What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another 2022 breakdown video, continuing to talk about the 2022 incoming freshman class. And I'm going to keep rolling with the running backs here. I'm going to talk about Nicholas Singleton out of Reading, PA, right up there with two of our co-founders of this awesome site, Austin Nace and Colin Decker. He is committed to Penn State, as you can see with the picture to my left. 6'2", 210, so already coming in not just at that size you want to see for a college running back, but an NFL running back, a big kid already as just a junior in high school going into his senior year. As you can see as well, he is 24/7 Sports running back 1. And in an attempt to stay consistent, I'm going to start continuing to do this through tiers. I almost always do my rankings through tiers. The past couple of videos, I ranked them by player, and I want to change that because he's not going to be RB 4 or 3 or 2. I think he's in that tier 1, which means he could be any of the top 4. I think he's just that good. And I do have him in the tier 1 with 3 other running backs, 4 total, which are Branson Robinson, Gavin Sawchuk, Jadon Blue, and of course Nicholas Singleton as well. All 4, I believe, could be the RB1 of that 2022 class. And Nicholas Singleton is about to kick off his senior year. He was very nice and took a couple minutes of his time as well to talk to me. You guys will get to see that interview drop soon in an article after this video is released, much like Gavin Sawchuk, and I'm very appreciative of him for taking a little bit of time out of his days. He's preparing for his senior high school season there in PA at, I forgot it, Governor Mifflin High School. Pretty sure that's right. Governor Mifflin High School. He's getting ready to kick off his senior season, so excited to jump in. We're going to talk a little bit about him based on what they've got on his 24/7 Sports page, and then we're going to jump in and look at his junior season highlights. So let's get into it. All right, so here we go. He is, in my opinion, going to be one of the better running backs of this class. I really do like him a lot. And just kind of going in here and pulling up his page. So as you can see, already what I had talked about, 6'2", 210. He comes in as a 4-star. So in the composite, he is RB6. In 24/7 Sports, he is RB1. He's the second best player out of PA in both. So, one of the best players in this 2022 class altogether, and I don't expect that to change at all. I expect him to really go out there and have a really good senior year. As you can see here, he had interest from some of the top schools. This is just looking at the top one right here. He had 34 offers, as you can see right here. 5 visits, ends up going with Penn State. And as in the interview I will mention, and he did say to me, a lot of that was, it just felt like home, and it was very close to home. It was very important to him to have his family there close to him. You can check out his verified results right here. A 4.59 40, 4.8 shuttle, 36.40 vertical, a 10.89 100 meter. He is explosive, and you're going to see that on the tape. So he is a very good player. A kid, again, that I'm really excited to watch going to Penn State here. He's going to be, I would not be surprised, especially with Jadon Blue sitting out, which is a big one. I would not be surprised if he ends up being the number 1 RB considered by most in this class. He is very, very good, and we're going to see that here on his tape. And again, I just think he's a really good player. I was trying to pull up some of the other stuff we talked about in the interview, and he talked about his speed and his vision being 2 of the big things for him that he loved the most about his game. And as you'll see, I 100% agree with that, because they are not just really good. It's probably the best parts of his game. So, I guess that's really all there is to say about him. He's going to have, I think, a really good season. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to have to look it up, people, because I forgot who it was. Someone else committed. Katron Allen is another running back prospect in this class. He is the number 12 in the composite 13 by 24/7 Sports. He is also committed to Penn State. So they got 2 really good running backs, but Singleton stands out above Allen, in my opinion, and above a lot of the others. So Colin Decker, one of our co-founders, big Penn State fan, he got a good one. Not only to mention Drew Aller, who's coming over as quarterback as well next year. I know he's doing a lot of recruiting. Penn State's on the rise. They've got a really good team that they're building here, and I think they're going to be really good. As you can see, Gabe Brooks here compares him to Nick Chubb. That's a lofty comparison. If he can end up being what Nick Chubb is, I mean, Penn State's going to have a steal at running back here, and obviously, I do think he's got some NFL upside. So, I mean, man, I feel like we're going through this too quick, but it's moving, so let's go do it. Let's look at his junior season highlights. All right, so let's check this out. Again, junior season, as you can see here, in just 8 games. Again, shortened because of COVID. A lot of players, we talked about the Gavin Sawchuk last week. Hauser, I don't think his was really shortened that much. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head. But 8 games, 1,303 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12.5 average. So clearly, this kid was doing great things here in this offense for Dunder Mifflin. And let's go ahead and take a look here. Oops, I skipped like way too far ahead. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look at it, talk about what I like about his game, which is a lot. I will be 100% honest with you. So he's right there in the backfield, takes that quick pitch right there, and I mean, look at that. He is just gone. And so, again, when you're talking about a guy with that kind of speed at 6 foot, 200 already, 210, I'm sorry, I don't want to short him 10 pounds, 210, that is just ridiculous. I mean, and again, great vision to get through the hole, great contact balance right there to stay on his feet, and again, just continues to keep going. Now, some of that I think is the fact that he is 6 foot 210. He's a man amongst boys here. And you guys are going to see a lot of this. I got to give credit to the coaching staff here at Governor Mifflin, because they run a lot of this same, it looks like, dive concept, and I mean, it works for him, don't get me wrong, and dude's just a beast. I mean, look at him. He beats the cornerback right there, which just shows you speed. It's very, to me, impressive to see him have such speed at his size. Again, it's really a standout part of his game, and he said so as well. Like, that's a big thing for him, is his speed, and you can definitely see it, how fast he is once he gets the ball. He's almost always immediately uphill, one cut and just kind of gone, which I like about him as well. He's putting that speed to work, his vision as well. Now, you might want to question his vision some, the fact that he keeps getting these just toss plays to the outside. But in the few that you do see him taking up the middle, it does seem like he hits the right hole every single time. Does a very good job. You saw the one where he kind of cuts back and goes. I mean, again, look at that, dude. He just gone. One of those things where, like, you can start leaving players 15, 10 yards behind you. It just shows your speed. Like, it's very, very evident here, as you can watch. I mean, so I don't think I don't want to say not impressive. You don't get a chance to see it that much. I don't know if he's elusive. It doesn't look like he breaks a lot of tackles, but with that speed, it does almost kind of like start and stop. So he's got that explosiveness. You saw it with some of the shuttle, and what was the other one that I think really kind of speaks out to that? The vertical, 36.4 vertical is just great. You see him doing punt returns here as well, which you love to see. He's got the versatility to be out there on punt returns. I don't think he's on the kick return team, but even then, returning punts, that's awesome. But again, the 36.4 inches on the vertical, he's got that explosiveness, which I think he shows you in his quick start-stop ability. He's just, I mean, he's a man among boys, as I mentioned earlier. You can tell me, look at it just right there. Like, if we go back here, what is it? Can I go back like 15 seconds here? Let's unpause this and go. I mean, just look at him standing here in the backfield. He is massive compared to all these kids. And so, again, I think he's already the size you want for a college running back, and then on top of that as well, an NFL running back as a junior in high school. The one thing I will say about Penn State, being an Ohio State fan, it's not always easy to talk about other teams in the Big Ten and how good they are, but go to Saquon Barkley, Mike Gesicki, Miles Sanders, Allen Robinson, I'm sure Jahan Dotson this year. The one thing they do a really great job of when it comes to that stuff is the fitness, the strength and conditioning programs. I mean, those guys are almost always ready when it comes to the NFL draft. They blow those combine numbers out of the water. That's why everybody is so in love, right, with Mike Gesicki, because I didn't realize I was kind of like covering up the screen here, guys, so I apologize. We'll minimize me to that right there. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm doing this live. There we go. And so they do such a great job of having those guys ready, right? Mike Gesicki, was okay at Penn State, but really kind of blew up for fantasy players after what he did at the combine and just kind of hitting like all those analytical profiles with what he was able to do testing numbers. So think about that already. Nicholas Singleton at 6'2", 210, showing off this speed as a junior in high school. He's going to go out there, probably gain a little bit more muscle weight or put on a little bit more a senior year, and then he's going to hit that strength and conditioning program at Penn State. I mean, it's wheels up for Singleton. If you've got a chance to get some of those extra freshman picks, I'd do it because I do think he's going to be very special and going to Penn State just with that part of it. Not even to mention, I think Coach Franklin does a really good job of scheming offenses. They just brought in a new offensive coordinator. I think he's going to be the guy next year, whether Noah Cain stays or leaves. I think Singleton could easily come in and as a freshman take that starting job with just how good he is. Might have to learn some different concepts. As I mentioned, we do see a lot of the same play here. Now, how much of that is, again, they're putting the highlight reel together. We don't get to watch full games. I haven't gotten to see every single one of his games. So I don't know. Obviously, they're not doing these dive plays or toss plays every single play, but he just looks so good in some of them. Obviously, they're going to put him in his highlights, but he's just going to be, in my opinion, he's amazing. I can't wait to see him get to the next level. Again, just getting to the outside here, great stiff arm. I don't know if they ruled this a touchdown. Looks like they ruled him down at the 1, but still, great play, great way for him to go. So this is 8 minutes long here. So as you go, there's a nice little run up the middle, nice easy touchdown. Again, speed. And I love that he's just gone. As soon as he hits that hole, he's gone. Again, I mentioned earlier, great contact balance. You saw it in that second run, I think, of this highlight, where he stays up, on his feet running after, I think it was easily like 2 or 3 guys that kind of tried to bring him down. One of them hits him in the leg, uses his arm to balance himself and keeps it going. You'd love to see it. He's got that lower body strength as well to keep on moving. And again, just speed to be able to leave everybody in the dust like that. It's going to be fun to see how fast he comes in. If he ends up going to any of the... if we get to see any verified numbers after his senior season before he goes to Penn State, or maybe if we hear anything from Penn State as he gets there as a freshman, what his testing numbers are, because again, a 4.59 in the 40, I think he could be faster than that because it definitely, in my opinion, shows. I don't know the level of competition here in PA. I've heard that it's not as great. You get to see him throw a pass right here, so there you go. Pretty decent arm, I guess, if they really want to run some trick plays there at Penn State. Another one. Okay. All right. I see you. Interception there, but still, that's a nice little throw. Better arm than I've got. I'd be very interested, though, to see if he can come in faster than the 4.59, because I do think so, and I think he shows it some here on tape. So here's a reception. That's what I want to see. I was hoping to see some receiving ability here. It's one of the things that we don't get to see a lot of, and I don't know if that's just not part of their offensive game plan or there's just not a lot of highlights here for him catching the ball. Obviously, that's going to be big moving forward. We want to see that out of our college running backs as well. Did look good in that one that we've seen so far, so I can't knock him for that. Like to see more of it, but again, I can't say it's because of him not being able to do it and why they're not showing it in the highlight reel. But again, right here, just speed, man. One cut, gone, very fast. I love it. I love everything about it. I think he definitely can run with power as well, which is what you like to see some of. It's just really, can he be a receiving back, I think is the big question for me. Again, we get him on punt return. Look at that. That's just nasty. I'm going to go back to that really quick. Watch this. Look at that. Stop and get going again. I love it. I think that just speaks to his explosiveness and his speed. He's going to end up taking this back to the house, isn't he? That's just nasty, man. That's just nasty. I love watching these guys. And, of course, you're seeing, he's probably the best athlete on the field, which is why it probably makes it look this way. Okay, see, there we go. That's a really good catch. I like that. I'm going to go back to that really quick because he's got this linebacker coming in on him, and he knows it. Nice catch. I mean, it comes into his body a little bit here it's kind of hard to see, but looks like he lets it into his body a little bit, but I'm fine with that. Still, overall, very good catch. Holds on to it after the linebacker kind of gets him right there around the leg, so it's good. Good to see some more receiving receiving work here. Again, I'd like to see more of that. I talked about with Gavin, we didn't get to see a lot of it. Same thing here. Maybe it's just not a part of their offense. Doesn't mean he can't do it, but at least those 2 plays right there, he looked good. We get to see another pass, man. They really want to show off his arm. I mean, it's not bad. It really isn't bad. But I think that just speaks again to how good of an athlete this kid is and just how good he is overall. I mean, my goodness. I'm going to be very curious to see where Austin and Alfred have him ranked. I'm pretty sure they both have Jadon Blue as their number 1 overall prospect at the running back position. He is technically mine right now, but does taking a year off hurt him? I don't think there's much that separates him from a couple of these other guys, Singleton here included. So I'm really interested to see what Singleton does this year. Looks like we're about to run the tape here on his highlights. So overall, I think, like I said, speed, very much like Gavin Sawchuk, right? And the one cut and gone, and his speed is there. It's very evident on here. Again, I wish I could see maybe a little bit more than these dives and just kind of toss plays. It'd have been nice to see a little bit more than that. Did get to see a little bit of receiving work. Looked comfortable, looks good, so can't knock him there. I think he's going to be just fine in that. But what stands out, speed, contact, balance. I mean, he's just dragging guys. Definitely has power as well. And I think that power will translate. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, he's definitely the biggest guy on the field. But I think with what we've seen a little bit here in some of these hits that he's taken and been able to keep moving, he'll be able to do that at the next level as well, because obviously he's going to be going up against some bigger defenders and everything there. I mean, right there drives the pile into the end zone. You love to see it. So I think realistically, he's got everything you want in his game. He's even got an arm. He can throw the ball good 30, 40 yards. He did it a couple times, 1 interception, which you don't love to see. You got to get it, lead the receivers just a little bit more. I'm just messing with you, man. That's it's very cool to see that, though, knowing that Penn State can put that in their wheelhouse if they want to. Did he just make that catch? There we go. So there you go. That's a nice little over-the-shoulder play right there to end it out. Great way to end the highlight, too, in my opinion. So overall, I think Singleton is a really good player. Let's cut back to the main screen and wrap this up. So Singleton, speed, very much as I mentioned with Gavin Sawchuk, he's one cut and gone. Love his contact balance, power. We saw a little bit more receiving work out of him. Only 3 catches on the highlights, but still looked comfortable at least. So I can't knock him and say didn't have enough receiving work. I'd like to see more of it, as I mentioned when I dropped the little tag about that earlier this week that I was going to be breaking him down. I would love to see more of it, but again, I can't knock him for it. We got to see 3 highlights of it. Will we get to see more of it this year? I hope so. He will get to play out his senior year. I think he's going to be a great fit for Franklin and that Penn State offense. Again, I said earlier, whether Noah Cain stays or goes, and if Noah Cain stays, he probably ends up keeping the job next year, but I think Singleton is going to be the guy for this team for at least 2 years, if not 3, paired with Katron Allen, who is another running back in this class. They're going to both be really good, I think, but Singleton stands out with just everything he has. He looks like the complete RB and already comes in at that size. Once he hits that college strength and conditioning program, I think he's going to be even better. So he is the last of my Tier 1 running backs. We're getting close to wrapping these things up. I'd like to get in a couple more players. Next year, we'll definitely do better about doing like 2 of these or 3 of these a week. This kind of came together late for the Campus to Canton crew, but I wanted to try and get out as many of these as I could because I really like doing these and really like talking about them. Did a Kyle McCord last year as we were kind of firing up this off-season stuff. And so I wanted to dive into a little bit. And we'll talk about guys throughout the season. This is not be the end of the 2022 series, but as college football is about to kick off starting tomorrow as of the time of me recording this, we're definitely going to be diving in deep into that, but we'll still be bringing you some high school stuff. Nicholas Singleton, though, got to watch out for. The rest of the year, if you're in Reading, PA, and you get a chance to go watch him play, I'd do it. Looks like he's going to be an absolute stud. I'll be looking for high school box scores to see how he does every single week. His season's about to kick off. One of the more exciting running backs of this class. I cannot wait to see him hit the college level. And I'm a little bit worried, being an Ohio State Buckeyes fan, so I can see him running all over us. But excited to see what he can do at the college level for sure. Check back with us soon. We'll continue doing this series soon. Me, Alfred, and Austin will hopefully have a little ranking summit together, talk about our favorite guys and how we see this class shaking up. Not sure who I'm going to do next. I think I might go, might do a quarterback, might do a wide receiver, mix it up a little bit. I've done 2 running backs here in a row. So everybody enjoy week 0 and look for the interview. Will be dropping very soon on campusdecanton.com. Talk to you guys again soon.